in Cairo and I got immersed in Cairo and I got to know what the people were like. I felt that was the Arab world, didn't it? Drinking, walking, fishing, whatever it might be. So it's a bit like that. Morphology is what we call it in linguistics. Same, but the vowels are different. Ismak, ismik. Yeah. Ik.
Good, great. If not, I'll say good with it. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you an introduction to Arabic music in Spain, through the courts of Seville, Cordoba, and Granada, through the Ottoman hegemony of the whole of the Middle East, all the way to Shakira's hips.
A little bit of a conversation with you about storytelling, about what it means specifically to me, the power of stories and where they come from, and that will be about 45 minutes of our time. At any time you want to raise your hand, it's totally cool. Raise your hand, we'll chat it up, and then it's transition to. Well, spoiler alert, a lot of my storytelling and the concept of storytelling comes from my understanding of my life in Iran and a concept of tarof and hospitality. And so when asked, hey, can you do a conversation about arts, culture, whatever it is about Iran, I could not skip over the concept of tea. We're going to have a conversation. And so the second half of this meeting is going to be my meeting. I will be your host and hopefully take you through a little bit of the tea. I wouldn't call it a tea ceremony. It's not that ceremonial. It happens so constantly in Iran. It has less ceremony and more to do with hospitality. So we'll do that in the second half. If you'll permit me, and we'll move forward from there. So anyway, my name, as I said, is Nayeri-Arabic. I'm an author, a filmmaker, sort of basically a storyteller by trade these days. I also edit a lot of books. That's my picture, which is clearly not my face. It's what happens when you get a professional wedding photographer to do their magic. And as you can see from the quick bio, I was born in Iran. We lived in various places. We were refugees after my mom sort of ran afoul of the secret police in post-revolution Iran. We finally got asylum to the United States. And I discovered my love of Nutty Buddies, Nintendo, and all the good things in life. And that's about it. So that doesn't help us. But, of course, a story told as a matter of sequential events is only ever going to be, at its best, a plot graph, right? There can never be anything more. I imagine you've probably seen Freytag's pyramid here. It begins at a moment of exposition where you're supposed to deliver the backstory of the character and what they want. And then you get the rising complication of them trying to get what they want. Then you get the climax, which answers the question, do they get what they want? And at best, it can give you the thrill of watching that character desire something, and again, at the climax, either lose or receive their desire. Once upon a time, there was a boy who wanted nothing more in this world than to be a shepherd like his grandfather. But when his family is torn apart and separated across the planet, he is left wondering if his patchwork memories of the man will be enough to guide him to be like the grandfather he admired. So there you go. Exposition is a little Persian boy. You just got that. Motivation. Pairing. So you kind of cut out the bread and went straight for the butter, and that's not good toast, right? So in this case, you gotta have the tea if you want to have the dessert, because it's a lot of our stuff is breads, bready type things. I wasn't able to bring this on the plane. But a very common one is like, imagine like a churro, except this big instead of this big, and then so it's like a fried dough, and then it's just soaked for the next week in rose water syrup, right? So you bite into it, it's like awesome fried bread. Between your teeth and pour the tea through it. That's dessert. That's a lot. Yeah. So traditionally, you'll take a sugar cube. I couldn't find good sugar cubes. I'm just moved to a place. But yeah, you put it between your teeth, like hold it here, and then you pour and let the tea go straight through it. And then you'll feel it's a really fun experience, because you'll feel the sugar cube like dissolving suddenly through. But it's like quite literally, you don't like melt the sugar into tea as often. This stuff, desserts in the Middle East, there's like two particular kinds of what's that? One is you'll see in like a hanafeh or this one here, it's like a noodly dough, and the other is phyllo, which is going to be like flat sheets. Here it's wrapped here, here, and here. This is going to be a very traditional baklava around here. This is, I would think of this as particularly Greek. You can find it elsewhere as well. But I mean, again, all these things are kind of mixed. So, and this is like this. So this is like a little sampler platter. I will cut it open and of course pass it around. But once again, how do you see?
Also, if anybody wants a free teapot on the way home.
Really?
Take the teapot. Can't take my.
So these leaves are still floating, as you can tell, right? They're not like just. I mean, I'm seeing. I can tell because I'm looking at the surface and they're floating. But you can sort of tell they're not there. It's also just not. It's not the amber I want. The color of amber. It's just a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna pour that back in. And we'll start. We'll wait for it. So if you are that way, like she will literally be like, it's still steam is coming out, and she'll drink it and go, it's ruined. I'm gonna take it to the microwave. Okay, mom. So in this case, you would have this. You would have a blanket over it. You would have it on a steamer. You would definitely not put it back over the fire. If you did it, you never want to bubble the water after the tea is put in there. My mom now is in Pennsylvania. It's just outside the Lehigh Valley, and she, it was a lot. So the book ends pretty early on. I may or may not be working on a follow-up for the high school years. May or may not, because I have 500 pages and they're all trash. So I appreciate that. The florals bring out the sugar, I find. So like, it's just a lovely pairing. I might be soaking this thing. And I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Liz, may I ask you to pass these around so that they'll sit that way? Look. Someone's gonna be like, why'd y'all soak these two? All right. So as you're drinking it, take a sweet, unless you really, I tried to get sweets of all kinds that will sort of hopefully alert to allergens, but try to, something sweet.
Wow, Tyler.
Gotta get another one.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's a little jujit. I do a different doodle for every book because I got freaked out that people would have my signature and they'd steal my like $12 in the bank. So I was like, when I first started writing, I was like, what do I do? I can't just give people your signature. Who does this? And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a doodle for every book. So for Samir, it's like a little desert scene with a camel on the tackle.
Oh,
So,
wow, I have to get that one.
it's a quick, so it's a,
I gotta get that signature.
Jude is a term of affection in Farsi.
thrilled to see the passion and work you're all doing. It's just so commendable. And so I was, as soon as Katie reached out and Greg reached out, I was so excited to be a part of this. So, like you said, I am an academic, but I don't want to give you this academic Islamic art lecture. I actually pride myself in being a bad art historian. You don't have to do art history the way we always are taught to do art history. And what I want to do is really so that talk about political needs, social needs, historical issues within the Middle East, within North America. How do we animate the work to discuss these
That's going to be. More.